Hello my weebs and welcome back to another video on Otaku Fandom. Today we are going to be talking about the Demon Slayer movie, Demon Slayer Mugen Train, that came out on 2 weeks ago, I believe, as of right now, and it's currently like the number one movie. No, it's like the number one foreign movie in America, so that's cool. And it's like gained 20 million yen overseas so far, so that's good for them. But heads up, a quick warning: the next part is going to be talking about in depth and my thoughts of the movie. So if you don't want to be spoiled and you haven't had the chance to watch the movie yet, please just turn away from this video. Right now, I'm gonna put a timer. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we have Demon Slayer begins with the leader, the head of the Demon Slaying Corporation, with his wife walking side by side in, where was it? The cemetery. Him naming out like names of kids that fought in the demon slaying corpse but died. He's mentioning each and one and saying that at some point that his time is coming and he'll see them soon in the land of the dead. And his wife grasps his hand like very hard because she doesn't want him to leave. But then we move on to Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke hopping on the train. Basically, where season 1 left off, ended. The movie then continues that part. They're in the train. Tanjiro is helping this old lady with her bags on the overhead storage area on the train. Next is Zenitsu trying to keep calm Inosuke because Inosuke wants to race the train, thinking it's the Lord of the Land. Since I believe Tanjiro said that in season 1 when they got to the train station. Next is so they're gonna find the fire pillar Rengoku, who's chowing down on bento box after bento box after bento box, saying, "It's good, it's good, it's good, it's good." But, anyways, they reach to the cart where he's in, and he's still eating, and it's saying it's delicious. Throughout the time that he's finished each bento box, and all the workers, the sanitation crew, which is an all-female staff, is there like, picking up the boxes. Tanjiro makes his entrance and goes to give him a forward greeting, like to introduce himself. While he was done with his greeting, or halfway when he was done his greeting, he just goes around, looks at him straight out, and just says, "It's delicious." And Tanjiro says, "Yeah, I know that." So then Tanjiro sits alongside with Rengoku and wonders about his dance of the flame god breathing technique, if he has ever heard of it. Which he brutally, honestly, Rengoku says, "No, I haven't heard of it. I haven't heard of fire breathing, the fire breathing technique, fire god technique, nothing." And he goes on to mention, "Hey, I'm going to make you my disciple." Right away, an instant decision to be his disciple. But what they don't know is that there is a very very detailed plan in the works while they're in the train. Conductor comes up to them and asks for the tickets, and they're about to give him the tickets until Rengoku senses that there's a demon on board. Actually, 2 of them. He eliminates them with ease, but before he eliminates them, he asks the conductor to forgive him because he contains a weapon. Because I believe Demon Slayer is in the Meiji era, and the Meiji era had like the provision, like you couldn't have a katana, a sword, on you, or you'll be arrested, and the sword would be confiscated from you. This was if I remember correctly, that's what happened. Because what's it called in Demon Slayer, the grotesque demon, the one with the many hands that Tanjiro fought, and he mentioned that he was a demon that was from the Edo period, and the Edo period was the time with the samurais and everything. But anyways, going on past that, we have them after Rengoku takes care of the demons. The conductor punches their tickets. Because it's not knowing that the tickets are part of this mysterious being's plan, and I'm about to reveal who that is. And that's the first lower moon, Enma. Enma has a very detailed plan. And his plan is that he's going to get certain people among his plan. The two conductors, and the 6 children to be part of his plan. No, it wasn't 6 children; it was 4. But his plan goes awry, as there was an unknown factor that he didn't came to conclusion, and also how strong somebody's will is. But anyways, continuing on. Once the tickets are punched, the lights start flickering for a bit, for a long period of time, to a point where the lights stop and then return back, which is a sign of a demon. Which there is a demon. The demon is Enma, as I said. So Enma proceeds to kill. Proceeds with his plan. Next part of his plan is that everybody falls asleep into an endless dream, including our protagonists, Rengoku, Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu. The only person who doesn't fall asleep is the one person that wasn't accounted for, which is Nezuko. Nezuko's actually in her box, and she wakes up, but much more detail on that later. So the Demon Slayers are now in endless sleep. Now, the other part of the plan of Enma's plan could continue. Enma is a very cautious demon. A very cautious demon that he has to plan out every little detail. So, what he does is that he gave a horrible nightmare to one of the conductors, to a point where he begs Enma to give him a dream of his deceased wife and child, which was very sad to hear. So, continuing afterwards, he has 4 children who have bad circumstances, or have had a bad hand at life, and he asks them, "Hey, do me a favor and enter the dreams of the demon slayers and destroy their spiritual core. Their spiritual core is what will hurt them, and it will be easier for me to kill them. And it will be easier for you because you'll later have a sweet dream. A wonderful dream." That's what he provides. He provides sweet dreams after he gave them like horrible nightmares. We see that each person's dream, like for instance Inosuke dreams of slaying the Lord of the Land, which is the train, which is a centipede. And Tanjiro is a raccoon, Zenitsu is a rat, and Nezuko is a rabbit, and Inosuke is himself, and he's the leader of the group. And they're about to fight the train. While Inosuke sees that Nezuko's not participating, so he offers her some acorns for her services, which she takes the bait. The next dream is the biggest simp of anime that I've ever seen, and that's Zenitsu. Zenitsu has a dream with Nezuko. Oh, that they're holding hands, skipping in a meadow, yeah, skipping in a meadow, and he's like, He's so happy, and then there's a part where there's a river up ahead, and Nezuko goes on to say, "I can't swim," and Zenitsu says, "Don't worry, I'll carry you, and I'll use my lightning abilities to get us across." This dude goes insanely fast. It's just hilarious how much of a simp he is in real life and also in dream. Let's go with Rengoku. Rengoku, basically, his dream is not really much of a dream. It's just a memory that he had about telling his father, "Oh, he became the Flame Pillar," and his father not really giving a damn about it. And his father was the previous Flame Pillar. And we meet also his little brother, which I believe his name is Shinjiro. No, Senjiro. Senjiro. He really cares about his no, not Shinjiro. What's his name? Rengoku. Rengoku really cares about his little brother. His little brother asks him, "Oh, how did it go with father?" And it didn't go well, obviously. So he tells him the straight truth because that's what Rengoku was taught to do, to be brutally honest. And he tells him that that father isn't very excited about him being a demon slayer, being a pillar. So he goes on to train his little brother, but he senses something. And I'll explain that right after I explain Tanjiro's dream, because I think Tanjiro's dream is what pulled my heartstrings a lot. And obviously, it's a dead giveaway of what it is, and that is that Tanjiro is back at that scene where he comes back to the mountains. Instead of seeing a bloody massacre, he sees his little brothers, his sisters, and his mother in perfect health. And he's no longer wearing the Demon Slayer corpse uniform. He's wearing the same clothes that he had that day, and his birthmark is back to its regular shape, how it was in the anime, in the beginning, I should say. So Tanjiro is running to his brothers, hugging them because it's been a while, and him apologizing. So he's living his dream, absolutely. But mostly the main focus is Tanjiro's dream. Now we go back to Rengoku because remember when I talked about the four children? Well, these four children, their method of entering the dream is that they would have to tie their wrists to the demon slayer's wrists, and that's how they would connect to the dream. Enma didn't want to do this because apparently it's more of a risk for him to do it than rather just send somebody else to do his dirty work, which, let's just say, two kids have the worst of it because they have to go to Inosuke's dream and Zenitsu's dream. Inosuke's dream is crazy because Inosuke chases the girl that entered his dream looking for his spiritual core, and he chases after her like if she was food, and it's just crazy. Then the guy who enters Zenitsu's dream, Zenitsu's with a pair of gardening shears, chasing him at fast speed. He's like, "Why is there a guy in my dream? Get out of here!" That just confirms he's the major simp. More of a simp than the guy from Rent a Girlfriend. Yo, he was also a simp. But back to with Rengoku's was more interesting because the girl had successfully found the area where his spiritual core is, and it's like a desolate area that's like in flames. And she finds the spiritual core just there, and she's about to slice it, but unconsciously, Rengoku grabs that girl and starts choking her while he's still asleep, and you could see his veins popping out of his head, and he's like holding her, like he sensed that he was in danger, even though he was in a dream. And then Tanjiro's living out his life with his brothers and sisters. But what I found weird was Nezuko wasn't in any of those parts. Like she wasn't included in it towards the end where he realizes, "Oh, I'm dreaming. I have to go." and it's very sad, like to see Tanjiro and in a state where he can't have this. He can never have this anymore because they're gone, and he gets somewhat frustrated because on the other side of the living in the living world, Nezuko wakes up out of her box and she's wondering why is Tanjiro not waking up, and she wants him to pet her, to give her head pats, and he's not awake. So what she does is that I think she hits her forehead against his and she starts bleeding from her forehead, and that was the reaction for Tanjiro to realize that he's dreaming and that he could hear Nezuko crying. So he's like the flames, the burning blood ability kicks in the dream, and the clothes that he wore back in the first and second episode, they're burning up, and in replacement is his demon slaying corpse uniform, and the siblings are like, "What's going on, big brother? What's up with those clothes? And why are you leaving us? Don't go!" And it's sad, like, because he doesn't want to go. He would love to stay there, but he knows this is a dream. And then he's looking for the guy who's invaded his dream, or the demon, and he can't sense it. And his dad, in a ghost form, he comes out of nowhere and say, "You have to cut something. You have to cut yourself. You have to kill yourself," like basically to get out of the dream, because sometimes in dreams, if you end up doing something insanely in your dream version of yourself in the dream, you'll end up waking up because you'll be scared, and then it will scare you to be awake. So Tanjiro knows what he has to do and cuts himself. I haven't even explained about the guy who invaded his dream. He saw this and he felt sad, but he had to look for his spiritual core, which he does. He sees the area of where the spiritual core is. It's like calm. It's like a calm way. It's like calm water and a clear blue sky with clouds, and he feels at peace, that this is peaceful, and some little sprites come out of nowhere and guide him to the spiritual core, and he cries. The guy cries that this person is really nice and down to earth, even to the point that he helped him get to the spiritual core, and he's trying to kill him. It was sad. Like, the boy had a disease, if I remember correctly. I don't remember what the disease was, but he was like very sad. Like he cried about it, and he couldn't do it. So now all of them are somewhat. No, Tanjiro's now awake. Tanjiro's now awake, and he's like ready to fight the people who are in his friend's dreams, and they all come at him with a needle dagger, and they almost kill him. They kill, and they're like the three are just yelling at the guy who invaded Tanjiro's dream. He's like, "What are you doing? Come help us!" He couldn't do it because of what he saw in his soul, so he couldn't do it. He was able to knock out all three of them and find the demon, find Enma later on. But then the others start waking up. Nezuko is in charge of waking them up, which he successfully does, except for Zenitsu. Zenitsu's still in dreamland. He's still he's still simping, basically. So he's like, "Oh no!" He's like, Inosuke finally wakes up, and I believe Rengoku's the second to last one to wake up. I believe so. And it's an amazing battle with Tanjiro. Tanjiro has to fight against Enma, as he later discovers that he's on top of the roof. But Enma has other tricks up his sleeve, like for instance, his hand. He can make his body parts into basically anything. Not anything, but basically he could make his body parts split and they could have a mind of their own and walk without his guidance. and that's what he did with his hand as he put everyone to hypnosis. And Enma uses that technique to put him into sleep as he finally he discovers, oh, it's the kid that Muzan wants me to kill as well that has the earrings. Oh, lucky day. I'm going to enjoy a feast of 200 humans and kill you and get more of Muzan's blood. So then later he will challenge one of the upper moons, which is very interesting due to the fact that this guy doesn't look all that. But anyways, he continues to Tanjiro is put into hypnosis, but what he does, he keeps cutting his neck in every time he falls asleep. He goes and cuts his neck. After, one after another, he keeps cutting his neck, and Enma's starting to be scared. Like, yo, why is this guy not falling asleep? Why isn't this guy doesn't just give up? But he does say a few things that also fuels Tanjiro's anger. Like, for instance, he could have made gave him a nightmare. He could have made also his father being alive, which angered Tanjiro quite a bit. Um, and then he goes for the kill, cuts his head. But we learned that Enma could actually, he could control his body parts even if his body parts are not in his physical body. And his literally body has infused with the train. Now him becoming the actual train. Inosuke is awake, and he's like now fighting against the tentacle things that are reaching out to the humans to eat. That Enma is reaching out to eat, and he is able to slice after letter, but it's not going to work. And while they were sleeping, these tentacles activated soon, and before Inosuke was awake, Nezuko was like doing everything in her power, like to stop, to defeat. Then Inosuke wakes. She did her best, and like Enma found out, and then he grabbed her and stopped her from attacking, and then Inosuke came in, and then later Zenitsu would come in, but not as his regular form where he's like all wimpy and crying. Sorry. And crying. It's his unconscious form where he just uses that fucking sixfold thunder and no lightning and thunderclap breathing technique, the first breathing technique, and cuts. And then Rengoku just comes in with the slice. He made the train bounce off its rails, and that was crazy how Rengoku is fast but also powerful. Him cutting down, he's like, oh, Zenitsu and Nezuko got the back true trains. He got the middle, and Inosuke got the front. And Tanjiro is making his way to the front of the train, and him and Inosuke get there, and they break the metal sheeting that's underneath the train to find the neck bone of Enma, and they're about to cut it, but then he starts transforming and protecting his neck, and then the conductor comes behind him and tries to stab Inosuke, but Tanjiro gets in the way and he gets stabbed, and Inosuke is mad and he wants to kill, the guy, and Tanjiro in a fashion, in a kind fashion, is asking Inosuke not to hurt him, to save him, and Inosuke is like struggling between doing his own thing and just slaying the demon, or protecting the guy who basically stabbed one of his friends. It's a hard decision, but Inosuke is immune to in Enma's techniques, which is having Enma having summoning 1,000 eyes and making Tanjiro fall asleep, which Tanjiro cannot keep up because he could basically summon an eye anywhere he looks, or when he wakes up, there's already an eye there ready for him to go unconscious. And Inosuke, he's protected because he could barely see underneath his mask. So it takes Inosuke and Tanjiro to fight against, Enma, which it works. It works. It works. They were able to beat Enma as Tanjiro uses his dance of the fire breathing of the fire god breathing technique and creates a fire dragon to slice, or I forgot, was it sun wheel that he uses, sun something, sun circle, some sun wheel, some, it's called something of the sun, the wheel of the sun or something like that, and he slices through the neck, killing Enma. Then Emma's actual body starts crawling off the train as the train now got derailed. He gets mad. He blames basically everyone. He blames Tanjiro. He blames Inosuke, Zenitsu, Rengoku, even Nezuko to a point where he's mad and now he's dissipating. And now they're attending to the people in from the trains and all that. And yo, the most fucking sorry about the cursing, but the most impactful thing was Rengoku acknowledging Nezuko as a demon slayer. That she was part of the demon slaying corps and that he respects her because she tried her hardest protecting humans and that he was right that she would never hurt a human being. It just brought a tear in my eye, and then also to Tanjiro. And he shows his respect to Tanjiro, to Nosuke, to even Zenitsu. He calls him Yellow Boy though. That's what made me laugh. But this short and sweet, heart, not heartful, very wholesome moment gets ruined as we meet one of the upper moons, the third upper moon, Akaza. Akaza, I have many things to say about Akaza, and this video isn't where I should explain it, but Akaza arrives looking for a strong opponent, and he proceeds to go kill Tanjiro as he sees him as a weakling. And Rengoku just takes his stand and stops him. And he could sense that Rengoku's pretty strong, and he's like, "Yo, leave the the demon slaying corpse. Join us. Join the demons. You'll become stronger." I could sense that. The only reason why I became stronger is because I've been alive for many years, and due to that, I have obtained many powerful techniques and others. And Rengoku says he denies the offer because they're complete opposites. He believes in the fact that he was born to protect people that were weaker than him, which his mother Ruka would tell him that she was proud to have a child like that who's strong. And but before, and yeah, he does have a flashback to that where his mother is telling him to his brother's very fragile and small, but it's his job to take care of him. And she pursues to ask the question, "Do you know why you were born?" And he goes on to say, "No, I do not." And she goes on to say that you were born to protect the weak. With the power that you have, you are strong to protect them. And he has followed that same lifestyle of what his mother had wanted him for throughout these years. And he fights Akaza in a one-on-one battle, and it's a very intense battle. If I were to compare this fight is equally as good as Saber Ultra versus Emiya and Ryder Medusa in Fate's Stay Night not Unlimited Blade Works Heaven's Field Spring Song. That fight was amazing, and it was done by the studio Ufotable, same studio that did the movie Demon Slayer movie and the Demon Slayer series. It was fantastic. It was wonderful. The choreographic moves, the music, the emotions of the characters, and the clash of ideals between them was amazing in this battle. But unfortunately, it ends with the bad guy winning. But it shows the grit and the perseverance of how strong his ideals were when it came up against this demon who has lived for thousands of years, thousands or hundreds of years, and he's trying to prove him like, hey, just join us, and he gets mad that he's stubborn that he doesn't want to join them, and he's like, I'm not gonna follow your ways. I will be strong as a human, and he fights him in a serious battle, and then they're about to do their final techniques, like his annihilation, demolition fist versus his fifth breathing technique, which is Rengoku, and both of them clash. But Akasa was able to impale his gut while he already had destroyed his rib, destroyed his lungs, broke a couple of ribs, and left his face scarred. So we have him fighting a handicap, and he was able to cut off his left arm. No, his right arm completely. Then to perceive his head, like he was halfway there to cutting off his head, but unfortunately, due to desperation from Akasan, because he sees that the sun is coming closer, and he's holding him a captive, because if I could kill you, I have succeeded. And that's one less threat that my companions will have to worry about. And he fought bravely. I'm going to say that he talks to Tanjiro and he dies. He dies there. No, he's fatally injured. There's no way he could come back, even with the breathing style that Rengoku had taught Tanjiro to cauterize his blood his skin cells, blood veins, all that stuff to cauterize. Yeah, he won't be able to heal his gut wound that has been severely pierced. So he tells Tanjiro to go to his home, and maybe there are documents indicating about the fire dance of the fire god, the dance of the fire god. And he starts crying, and he tells Tanjiro to tell his little brother Senkoro that he could follow his own path. He doesn't need to. He should follow his own ideals, his own path. And then when he's like smiling, he sees the spirit of his mother, and the spirit of the mother says that she's proud of him. He smiles he dies with a smile on his face, knowing that he followed his wishes to the letter, and he passes away. Then Tanjiro, Inosuke, they're having a huge, and Zenitsu, as after he wakes up, are having a huge cry. The messenger crow, is also crying, and the word gets out to all of the pillars saying that Rengoku has died. The sound pillar goes on. Not even a pillar was able to defeat an upper moon, and everyone says, and the last one is obviously Giyu, and Giyu says, I see, in his emotionless. But, he's not very emotional. He just doesn't know how to express his emotions. And we're back to Tanjiro. Before he died, Tanjiro grabbed his sword, impaled, because he threw it straight at his chest, and he kept calling Akasa a coward for running away. We fight you in your territory. We fight you at a time that you're stronger. How about fight us in the day? And he kept screaming this throughout this before he died. I forgot. And then Inosuke is crying, and he says, "Let's go train to take Zenitsu, not Zenitsu, but Tanjiro his mind off, and that they have to honor Rengoku in his death." And the movie ends movie ends with what's her name? Lisa's song for this movie, which was called. It starts with an H, but it was a nice. It was basically the ending credits with a montage of Rengoku images of Rengoku, his mother, and his birth, and all that stuff. It was amazing. But honestly, this movie was a 9 out of 10. It was absolutely fantastic. I loved it. It was very emotional. I cried, but there was no memes. There was no memes. There were no people screaming Eren Yeager or Deku's a sexy baka or Oni-chan or any other questions. But I have to say this: there's not gonna be anything that's perfect, but Demon Slayer came close to it, and it was fantastic. And I advise you to go watch it yourselves to enjoy the experience of Demon Slayer, as you guys only have 2 weeks left for the movie. Actually, funny enough, I was supposed to go watch it again on Saturday, and that would have helped me with a better review for this movie, but I had some issues. I won't talk about them, but they're in the form of a younger sibling. But, anyways, leave a like, comment what was your favorite part of the movie, what did you like about the movie. Subscribe if you want to see more of this. I am very sorry that this is long because this is the first time I'm trying this layout, so yeah. And my voice is like a little hoarse because I've been dealing with some throat problems for the past week and I needed to get this video as soon as possible. So, and look forward for another video. I was gonna do some Fate stuff, but something got in the way. But expect a Fate video later next week for the case of Lady Rain's case files. Oh no, that it ends. Never mind. Maybe next month there will be some more Fate content I'll record because I know June is swimsuit season for Fate Grand Order. But anyways, have a nice day. Enjoy your day and peace.